It's day 5 of 6 at the Tour de Romandie, and the Swiss race is on a razor edge. A second separates two men at the top. Britain's Bradley Wiggins leads, but can he celebrate his 32nd birthday in style? It's next. It's the final weekend of the 66th Tour de Romandie, and yesterday a hard-fought sprint won by Luis Leon Sanchez has brought him to just a second behind the race leader Bradley Wiggins. Today the fourth stage climbs to 5,000 feet on 3 occasions, a real test for the real contenders. It's the penultimate day of the Tour de Romandie, next on NBC Sports Network. And welcome back to the Epic Cycle Series presented by Michelob Ultra, the penultimate day today of the Tour of Romandie, the last big day in the mountains before the time trial tomorrow. Snow on the high peaks as we head to Sion now, a ride of 114 miles. And they must attack, I feel, Bradley Wiggins today. I'm Phil Liggett, alongside me is Bob Roll. Well, that's right, isn't it, Bob? They've got to hit him today.
They got to hit Bradley Wiggins today. Tomorrow is a time trial. That's Wiggins' specialty. You don't see anybody in this field taking any time away from Bradley Wiggins in the time trial, so the mountains are where the damage has to be done. 55 riders are within 30 seconds of the race leader. It's going to be a thrilling stage today in the mountains.
Well, his face gives nothing away as he salutes the crowd yesterday after retaining that leader's yellow jersey by 1 second in the end over the day's winner, Luis Leon Sanchez. Michael Rogers, he went from second down to third, still the same distance back. Bauke Mollema in fourth. Andrew Talansky rode a great race. He's now locked at 11 seconds with the man who challenges him for the young rider's white jersey, Wilco Kelderman. This is the route, Bob, today. It's hilly.
3 Category 1 climbs, 1 Category 2 climb, 114 total miles, but these are in the hard mountains of the Romandie region. A great stage on tap for today. The peloton will go through the finish town one time, that's Sion, but then they will go out into the hills with a Category 2 and then 2 Category 1s and a long sweeping technical descent before the finish. An absolutely thrilling profile on today's stage.
All right, well, let's have a look first of all what happened early today. And as we expected, a lot of riders want to attack. Peter Stettner here. Look at the back, because there's a fall at the front of the peloton. Goodness knows what happened, Bob. They came down like a pack of cards.
You almost never see this on a climb amongst the very best bike racers in the world. But one moment of inattention, the rider in front of you touches wheels, and a little bit of a 5-man pileup. That might be Ivan Basso. His hard luck continuing, falling into the side of the road there. Luckily, it was a patch of grass and not some rocks.
Now we can explain to the breakaway of the day. These 3 riders, Shop, Ignatenko and Leverley, getting away early on today. They're being chased by a group of 4 at the moment, but the whole spread at 33 kilometers to go, 20 miles plus, is 1 minute and 10 seconds. And in fact, Ignatenko is now the new leader in the King of the Mountains competition. Just slacking off his muscles there at the back is Guillaume Leverley of the CSU. Now we cut back to the chasing 4 riders here. Gianpaolo Caruso is the rider in our camera lens. They're moving up. It is Rui Costa, Lawrence Ten Dam of Rabobank, and Peter Stettner in the thick of it again. Been struggling a little bit on the climb, but he came back to this group on the way down for Garmin Barracuda. And they are closing in all of the time on those 3 riders up front. And these are big names attacking now, because Johan Schopp up in that lead group is only 25 seconds off the pace. Now let's have a look at our Road ID athlete profile of the day. It is Lawrence Ten Dam. 31 years of age, I think best remembered by American viewers in last year's Tour de France when he exited the Alps in style, somersaulting onto his face. Despite being hurting, he did finish the Tour de France. And there is in the orange, third from the front of the group there. Look at these beautiful pictures, Bob. We're on the way down as we head now to our rendezvous with the next one. Now, we can tell you earlier on today, on the first climb of the day, we're very sad to report, on the way down it was, Bob, TJ Van Garderen in collision with a branch or something.
And team manager Rick Verbrugge confirming to me on the phone, he said, yeah, that's about the worst luck he's ever seen. TJ Van Garderen in a great position so far in the Tour of Romandie, descending the first Category 1 climb of the day, the Col de Moses. The wind blew a branch out of a tree, hit him on the face, split his nose open, so he's gone to the hospital for some stitches.
So any chance Van Garderen had, and I think he had a very good chance of progressing up the overall classification, gone this time around. A bizarre accident on the descent. This is now Team Sky doing what they do best, and that's drive in favour of their man in yellow. And as we're watching these pictures some 20 miles out, I can tell you that two of the team have now retired. Their world champion Mark Cavendish and Geraint Thomas, who won the opening prologue time trial. They worked really hard all morning on the front of this group and then said enough was enough, and they've actually abandoned the race. So it's up to these teams now to try and defend that 1 second advantage for Bradley Wiggins.
Chris Froome on the front there doing an incredible turn of work, working very hard. In the breakaway, Rui Costa, he's only 13 seconds behind the race leader Bradley Wiggins.
And the pyramids here dotted around the mountains as we go underneath. It looks as though we're going into a grotto, doesn't it? As the peloton now is still a big peloton here, but 42 seconds the spread. The hard work being done by Sky, but Rabobank are here as well. And at the front of the breakaway, this is a good counter move by Lawrence Ten Dam again as they join. So they've come up now to the front three. So we should have 7 men in the front. But in all honesty, you can throw a blanket over the lot of them now, because it's only a few seconds back to the main field. And there's still one more climb to come before we head down to the finish in Sion. That 1 second is looking very fragile. See you in a moment. The Epic Cycle, presented by Michelob Ultra on NBC Sports Network, is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer perfectly balanced for the ultra life. And by Strava, track your rides and compete against friends, locals and pros. Go to strava.com to get started. And by Competitive Cyclist, for 20% off cycling apparel and accessories, visit competitivecyclist.com/classics and use the promo code PRTF20. We're back and we're heading for the final climb of the road racing stages of the Tour of Romandie. 29 kilometres out, 19 miles, and there is the gap being shut down. So those four caught the three, and what's left of the peloton is being driven up to them here by Team Sky. And wherever they go, watch the orange jerseys, because that's the team who lie 1 second behind Bradley Wiggins with Luis Leon Sanchez. They are marking Wiggins as well.
Wiggins in third position there in the yellow jersey, on the wheel of his teammate in third overall. That's Michael Rogers and Chris Froome. So Team Sky now down to the heavy hitters. These are some of the best climbers in the business. I'm wondering if they've gone too hard a little bit too early. They caught that breakaway. It was very dangerous because Rui Costa started the stage only 13 seconds behind Bradley Wiggins in 11th overall, and they're just about to make contact with this front group. But then the peloton can start attacking, so all of the riders that have been in the group, saving their energy, can go on the offensive now. Bradley Wiggins is going to have a hard final 28.3 kilometers.
It looks as though Peter Ignatenko is the first to come back from that breakaway for Katusha, but he's had a great day. He's now in the lead overall in the King of the Mountains competition. You can see the red and black jerseys there, including number 1, Cadel Evans, the defending champion, who always rides near the front, but frankly has not attacked the whole week here. And the white jersey there of Andrew Talansky as he goes forward, as he rides up towards the front. And you know, Bob, I really think this young man can do a good ride tomorrow. If he can conserve his time today, I expect to see him doing a terrific time trial and maybe a podium for him tomorrow.
Well, he starts the stage in 6th place overall, only 11 seconds behind Bradley Wiggins. And Andrew Talansky, a very good time trialist. He could move up to get a podium, and most certainly should be capable of defending the white jersey that he's wearing currently as best young rider in this race.
Well, he won't be feeling the weather quite like in his home state of Florida, I can tell you, because it's chilly up here in the mountains. The snow is still on the tops, but the climb we're about to encounter, we've just about started, is taking us up to over 5,000 feet, and then we will swoop down into the finish town of Sion. They've seen the finish already today, but it was a long time ago before they went out on a circuit of the mountains here.
Not sure if you noticed Konstantin Zivsov, the rider from Sky, coming up through the peloton with water bottles to resupply his teammates. That's a very impressive move. He has to go back through the whole peloton to the team car, get the water bottles, and then pedal all the way back to the front. And on a climb, that's not an easy thing to do. But great riding by Zivsov. That's the type of things that gets races won.
Well, we're seeing here the tactics of Laurens ten Dam. He knows the peloton are right behind it, but he's not easing up. He is forcing them to keep the pressure on to chase them down. And the reason this is to try and soften up Wiggins for Luis Leon Sanchez. This is Armiel Moignard from Team BMC, who's gone up to the leaders first here. So they're still not been actually caught by the peloton.
Laurens ten Dam, second wheel in the orange jersey. Amiel Moignard, stage winner of Paris-Nice just a couple of years ago. And also, he finished 15th in the Tour de France. That's number 4 in the black and red of the BMC team. Good to see them being aggressive. Cadel Evans still tucked in there right in the front of the peloton. Cadel Evans is riding this stage quite well. We'll see if he has some firepower in those legs.
Yes, and that year 2010 you mentioned Moignard, he was also the king of the mountains in Paris, so he won't be afraid of the climbs today. Johan Schopp, who made a good move today, because when he was in the lead he was actually the race leader on the road. He's only 25 seconds behind Wiggins overall, and they'd gathered much more time than that. But he's back at the back of the bunch now, and the pressure has gone on as Schopp now finds at the end of his day. Moignard also has gone off the front here now, so this is another deviation. And remember that Moignard is on the same team as Cadel Evans, so again softening up. Well, he's given up. Having said that, he's looked back at the field and decided it's not worth going on. Your car coming up.
Playing the team game there, looking to see where Cadel Evans is in this line. Cadel Evans, a great time trialist, has a chance still. He's a few seconds behind Bradley Wiggins, but Cadel Evans starting the stage 32nd overall, about 20 seconds behind Bradley Wiggins. Cadel Evans not on the best form that we've seen in his career, not on the form he had to win this race last year, the Tour of Romandie, but still a solid performer in the mountains and the time trials. Cadel Evans needs to hang tough and get over the top of this climb, stay in the group, and he has a chance to move way up in the standings on tomorrow's time trial stage.
Well, as they make a left turn here, they really did chip this mountain out of the granite, because they're going on a shelf here now. Hard left, and it's kicking up in the riders' faces. Bradley Wiggins is always asking his team to set the pace for him, and he's still holding at the front. But this is the last climb out on the open highway of the race, and when you come back we'll take you to the summit. Presented by Michelob Ultra continues with the conclusion of the Tour de Romandie. It's the 10-mile uphill time trial. Watch out for Wiggins, Evans, Talansky and Sanchez. It's tomorrow on the NBC Sports Network. As we look at the peloton now, they look as though they slow down, and well they might, because this climb is beginning to bite. It is nearly 5 miles, this climb, Bob, and it takes us up to 5,000 feet.
Peloton still riding tempo. Teammate of Pierre Rolland on the front of the peloton. Pierre Rolland already a winner in this year's cycling so far. He won a stage in the spring in the Toile de Bessèges, so Europa car setting something up, and there's Rolland on the attack right now.
I guess we should have foreseen that, you know. About 3 kilometers to go to the top, just on 2 miles to the summit, and Pierre Rolland, who made his name in last year's Tour de France by winning at Alpe d'Huez, he has been showing terrific form this week, and when the road's gone up, he's put in a move.
Looks like Mikel Landa from the Euskaltel team joining him, as well as John Gadre. Euskaltel, nothing to report so far in the Tour of Romandie, but this is the terrain they love. The men in the orange jersey of the Basque team from northern Spain, they love the mountains. They're always aggressive in the mountain stages. They've waited a little bit during the Tour of Romandie, but now Mikel Landa on the attack with Pierre Rolland. That's a very good move.
And there's another move here too. Now BMC, this is Armiel Moignard again trying to get away. We saw him earlier, and now he's being sent up as the watchman, perhaps for Cadel Evans to join these leaders. Former king of the mountains in Paris-Nice, so he's not afraid of the climbs. I've got a feeling we are witnessing here the start of the big moves, and they're all hitting out at Bradley Wiggins.
And we have to see what Team Sky, how they're going to respond to this. Richie Porte on the front of the peloton, Mick Rogers are the last 2 teammates at the front of the peloton for Bradley Wiggins.
Spielak is putting in a move, a former winner of this race. These are desperate moments, remember, because there's a blanket over the field here. A few seconds gain will mean a yellow jersey at the end today, and they all feel this is where they've got to find out just how good is Bradley Wiggins. And he's not panicking just now. He's still using his teammates to make the pace.
Simon Spielak from Katusha in the red and white jersey with the blue lettering. He starts today's stage 9th overall, only 12 seconds behind Bradley Wiggins. He was able to move into 2nd place in the 2010 Tour of Romandie on a very similar stage. He got the stage win. He moved within striking distance of Alejandro Valverde. Of course, Valverde was disqualified from that result, so that man, Simon Spielak from Katusha, was given the win, and now he's on the attack again. He loves the Tour of Romandie.
Well, what this is going to do, and you get some idea here with the peloton who are clawing away back in, but there's only half the bunch clawing its way. They have split off a lot of riders. This is John Gadray. Now, he's over 3 minutes behind overall, John Gadray, whereas we're looking at Mikel Landa here. He's only half a minute behind. If he were to slip away on the climbs, he would be the leader on the road and at the finish. You know, Bob, there are still 60 riders in this race within 35 seconds of Bradley Wiggins.
It's an absolutely unbelievable situation to the Queen stage, penultimate day of racing, and still to have so many men within contention. Very challenging for Team Sky. They have to keep their eye on nearly every guy in this group. So when anybody attacks, they have to shut it down. If you're watching 3 or 4 rivals, that's one thing. But when you have to compete against 40 guys on the last climb of any stage, that's very challenging. Richie Porte seems to be up to it, and he's at the front driving it just like he did to defend Bradley Wiggins on yesterday's stage. But this is very dangerous. Both of these riders, Gadray and Landa, in close contention with Bradley Wiggins at the start of this final mountain of racing today.
Well, Gadray won't be the wanted man, but Landa certainly will be. 32 seconds behind overnight, and this is his big move now. He not just needs time over Wiggins, he needs good time, because he won't take the time off him in the time trial tomorrow. There's the gap. The reaction has come from the Tasmanian rider, Richie Porte, who's on the Sky team. He's been told to try and close this gap down. They want Landa back in the fold, and Richie Porte, the first Australian to win in the Giro d'Italia, the white rookies jersey, which he did a couple of years ago. The face of Wiggins, did it tell you anything?
It tells me he's calm, cool, and collected, and looking very smooth so far. Richie Porte, his teammate on the front of the bike race, already a winner earlier this season in the Tour of Algarve. So Richie Porte, he's on good form. Didn't show that well in the prologue time trial to open up the Tour of Romandie stage racing this week, but he's coming good now in the last 2 days, and he's the last man for Team Sky, an unbelievable ally for Bradley Wiggins trying to defend that race lead.
Now there's Cadel Evans just coming into picture, number 1, and he's being trailed there by Luis Leon Sanchez as well. The 1 second margin, remember, and they're all still here at the sharp end of the peloton. Seiya Sasori is moving up. The white jersey there, the young American Andrew Talansky. He's got visions. If he can hang on here today and go into the time trial tomorrow, he might well do a good time trial. Gadray is a very, very good climber. He's lost over 3 minutes so far in this race. He is no longer a threat, but Mikel Landa is the rider number 94. That's why they're chasing. 15 miles out from the finish.
Not the most handsome of uniforms for John Gadray on the AG2R squad, I think you mentioned, Phil, but he was a stage winner in the Giro d'Italia last year in the mountainous stage just like this, and he's on the attack. Good riding from the Frenchman.
Well, all I said was I didn't like the shorts, and then everybody came to me on Twitter saying they like them, so everybody to their own choice. The jersey is fine. Look at these beautiful pictures, though. The roads have suffered clearly from the winter snows here right now as they come up to the last kilometre to the summit. Almost a clash of shoulders there. Landa wants to get away from this group. He's giving everything he's got, but that terrific tempo riding by Richie Porte at the back is keeping Bradley Wiggins in contention. And I'm wondering if Sanchez is going to benefit by this. He might well try to attack before the top of this climb.
Well, Luis Leon Sanchez has a pretty handy sprint. We saw that yesterday. There was about 60 guys coming to the line on the end of yesterday's stage. He beat none other than Johnny Mearsman in the sprint, and Johnny Mearsman is a very good sprinter. So if Luis Leon Sanchez can stay right in this group, he only needs 1 second to come over Bradley Wiggins, and he could get that time bonus at the end of the stage.
Another AG2R. This is Rinaldo Noscentini here, who's gone clear. Made his name a couple of years ago in the Tour de France, and he led it for 8 days. And now he's going up to join his teammate Gadray. Perhaps that's why Gadray went first. By the way, Bob, Mearsman is among the riders who have abandoned today, so there will be no problem with him in the sprint today.
No, he will not be contesting today's sprint, but he's a very fast sprinter, and for Sanchez to beat him yesterday's stage, well, his sprinting legs, he must have brought them to the Tour of Romandie. Nocentini already racing well this year, 9th in the Amstel Gold Race a couple weekends ago, and he started his spring with 4th place in the Tirreno Adriatico. So Rinaldo Nocentini, the Italian on the French team, also a winner in the Tour of California a few years ago. In the Rose Bowl, I believe he won a stage there. So good riding by the Italian, and AG2R now 2 men in the break.
And the rider in blue who's just come up here is Jesus Hernandez, who's also a very good climber on the Danish Saxo Bank team. He's just getting settled in as he's come across on the wheel there of Nocentini. 4 riders, and again riders who are dangerous. Nocentini, for example, only 24 seconds behind Wiggins at the start of the day. Really, Wiggins cannot afford to let a single rider go clear, and Kreuziger up here as well, and he is 19 seconds off the overall lead. So these are serious moves by the riders who feel they have a chance as they come up towards the summit here. It looks like Kreuziger, who goes through. He's not interested in those King of the Mountains points. He wants the first place at the finish.
Great riding by Team Sky. Richie Porte still on the front of the proceedings. That's Roman Kreuziger, already a winner of the Tour of Romandy. There's the time gap at the bottom of your screen, 13 seconds. Bradley Wiggins on second wheel. Very small group here, but all of our contenders are still right at the front of the bike race.
But Bob, what happened to the peloton? That was about 15 riders going through of the strong men, and the panic has been caused by the fact that Kreuziger, Landa and Nocentini are in that group of 4 or 5 up front. And it looks as though a rider's gone through there. One of the riders, I think it was Moyar, who has just gone off the back. Now, we're looking here from the helicopter inside the last 23 kilometres of the race, 15 miles. Basically downhill, little kick on the way, but this is a very fast run into the finish now. And they should average somewhere around 30-35 miles an hour. There's the final King of the Mountains on the open road. There's one more climb in the time trial tomorrow. Kreuziger, Gadre, Landa, Nocentini and Jesus Hernandez, and that confirms now that the new leader tonight in the King of the Mountains will be Katusha's Petra Ignatenko. But the race is far from decided, and once again Bradley Wiggins is walking on a tightrope. We'll take a break. Tomorrow the Eyes on IndyCar series continues on the NBC Sports network. We're off to Brazil for the Sao Paulo Indy 300. Coverage begins at 10:30 a.m. with IndyCar 36 featuring Ryan Hunter-Ray on the NBC Sports network. As we come back into the mountains here above Sion, that group of 5 is dangling out in front, but 4 of the riders in this breakaway are inside 33 seconds behind Bradley Wiggins' lead. They don't need a big gap to win.
They do not need a big gap. 10 seconds time bonus at the finish line for the stage winner, then 6 for second and 4 for third place on the stage. So a lot of riders very close to a tenuous lead of Bradley Wiggins. But you got to hand it to Team Sky. They controlled the proceedings since he's got the jersey. They have been flawless so far, and now Bradley Wiggins following his teammates down this serpentine, twisting technical descent before the finish in Sion. The last 16 kilometers will not take very long at all.
Like a giant anaconda resting on the side of the mountain here as we now go back up. Now we are coming to 10 miles from the finish here. There's only 3 riders left. Kreuziger is in the turquoise colours at the front of the race. I think we've lost Nocentini from this group as well, and Landa has gone too. So we've still got Gadre up here. Now look at the speed. I was about to say, in the last 10 miles, I reckon, Bob, we're going to go through this in about 17-18 minutes to the finish. That's how quick they're going.
They're going absolutely flat out, smooth pavement. They're probably hitting speeds of 50-55 miles per hour on this final descent. And what happens, the inertia of the peloton, they can gobble up so much time, and there's a bit of a problem. And the motorbike went down.
Wow, I think that was Landa too who got round. He must have just seen him, and he's gone right round. Now they're signalling the peloton. We've moved on, of course, with our motorbike cameras. But you have to be careful. These corners will catch you out, and it's not just the bike riders.
That was the guide motorcycle that the riders used to judge how quickly they can go through each corner.
Well, glad they got it right.
Well, it was Roman Kreuziger that realized, hey, we're going way too fast for this corner. He slammed on the brakes, and he was able to get around there. But they did slow down and lose a little bit of their momentum on that crash.
Now we're dropping down into the valley. Below us is the town of Sion. They have climbed right up to over 5,000 feet, and now they're plunging back to a finishing line they saw earlier before they went on the circuit of the mountains. Now, well, I thought we were getting a replay there, but those motorbikes warning of these bends here because they are descending so quickly. These are desperate moments because 4 riders up front could run away with this race. Arrière du peloton, that is the rear of the race with our motorbike here at the moment. These boys are trying to catch up with what's left of the peloton.
These riders will be scrambling down this final descent. It's a little bit of a dangerous situation because you can just see the riders in front of you. They're going as fast as they can go, and you don't want to push it too far. But at the same time, if you do a hair-raising descent, if you do take some chances, you can get back into the front group. It's always a tricky decision for the men that are just behind at the top of the final climb.
Well, if you people back home are watching this in high definition, concentrate on the picture, and I can imagine you'll go quite dizzy as these riders take the plunge down here today. We're now 9 miles from the finish as we're ticking these kilometres off in less than 1 minute at this speed on the descent. When we finally get in amongst it, we'll tell you what's happening, because right now this field has totally decimated on the way down.
Well, this descent has been very technical, a lot of switchback turns. Some riders are great climbers but not great descenders, and you do not want to start a descent like this on the wheel of somebody that's not a very proficient descender. You have to be right in the front, because gaps will open up, and the more technical the course, the more technical the descent, the bigger the gaps that open up. Now we're starting to see a little bit of regrouping. This descent will come out on flat roads before the finishing town in Sion, a chance for everybody to catch back up, but you still don't want to be caught behind those splits in the field.
Well, that is the peloton here regrouping, and I think there's only a couple of riders left out front, but I'm saying that purely as guesswork. Talansky, the young American, just putting his hand in his back pocket there in white, he is really riding superbly today, and I really feel tomorrow he'll turn in a great time trial, which could see him in the top 3 finish in this race. But that's tomorrow. Today he's still got to get to the finish here. All the hills are behind now. It's a matter of chase everybody back together again, and surprisingly, if they catch everybody, Bob, on this way down, when we're going to see a sprint again, and that is amazing when you think of the stages we've had, and every day it's been an elite sprint, if you like, of 40, 50, 100 riders.
Well, it should come back together a little bit. I'm not sure if we'll see that big of a group, but it's great to see Andrew Talansky third wheel in the front of the proceedings. Rinaldo Nocentini looks to be the rider in the front of this long line of riders, and Royman Kreuziger on his wheel. So Nocentini, a pretty handy sprinter from a small group, and here are our leaders streaking down this final climb on stage number 4 of the Tour of Romandy.
But they're being reinforced all of the time by riders reaching them from the decimation of the back groups there, because these are the leaders, and look how big it is now. There were 5. We've swelled up here quite a bit, and we're coming into the last 7 miles of racing, which quite honestly is going to take us about 12 to 14 minutes just now if we continue descending at this speed. They brake hard for the bend.
Braking hard for the bend. If you're Bradley Wiggins, you want to be in this group. A good way to neutralize these attacks is to get into the front, but Bradley Wiggins was not in that line. We're still looking down this line of riders to find our race leader,
I think
Bradley
he was there.
Wiggins.
I think he was 4 men from the back of that lead group on the corner, which is good news because he certainly isn't here, so I think he's read it well. Our camera's now having difficulty of matching the riders at these speeds down the mountains as we now descend through the vineyards here, making our way slowly back towards Sion. There is the leaders, and right behind is a big peloton regrouping. They're going to come together again as they run into the finish.
And all of them chasing now Bradley Wiggins. He has made that front group. He's just tacked on towards the back of that. Everybody else that wants to still be in contention at the end of the stage, they have to catch Bradley Wiggins by the finish line.
The last 6 miles, and it's all go. We'll see you in a moment. Welcome back. Everybody, it seems, wants to win the Tour Romandy, and today is the day. We call it the Queen Stage through the mountains, and if you look to the back of this league group, the yellow jersey of Bradley Wiggins has crossed the gap, but they're still racing.
Still going flat out for the finish line. A stage win is up for grabs still. Rabobank coming back into the frame. Also, those 10 seconds of time bonus up for grabs at the finish line. That could make a big difference in the overall standings. The top 10 riders only separated by 12 seconds.
Well, it looks to me as though, in fact, Luis Leon Sanchez is still to come to that lead group, and that's why the Rabobank boys are riding so hard on the front, because Wiggins in yellow has got to the front. And what about our little hero from the USA, the man from Florida in the white jersey, Bob? He's right up there.
He's right up there in the front. That's great to see. Andrew Talansky, the young man, Bradley Wiggins, neutralizing that front group by making the juncture. A little bit worrying, though, not one single team of his from Team Sky left in the front of the peloton. Hopefully, for Bradley Wiggins, some of them will catch back up.
And Talansky again marks the riders, but looking down this lead group, where the one man we haven't talked about and I haven't seen is Cadell Evans. I don't know whether he's made this front 9 or 10 riders. Maybe he's coming across now, because Rabobank are trying to drag back in the action here their man Luis Leon Sanchez, who's demonstrated these last couple of days he packs a sprint finish, and if he can outwit Wiggins today and get some more time bonus, this is going to make a very tight race tomorrow.
Sauer on the attack. That looks like Jean de Beau's former leader of the King of the Mountains competition, putting in a nice little attack here. Bradley Wiggins did well to neutralize the big contenders. That might give somebody a chance to sneak away here in the last 7 kilometers of racing and get the stage win. There's another attack.
Jesus Hernandez takes his moment here. We've run off the climb. There's no real descent at the moment. Quickly being marked out here again by La Mondiale, because the rider going across again is John Gadre at the bottom of our picture. And I'm just wondering where Gadre is getting the strength from. Jesus, remember, he was the one rider who was in that breakaway along with Gadre, and now is trying another move. And again, he is another danger man. 30 seconds off the race victory. 10 if you cross the line first. He's only got to get 20 seconds ahead of the field in real time.
He raced the Tour de France for Astana and Saxo Bank. The strong teammate of Alberto Contador is Sweet Baby Jesus, as a nickname by Lance Armstrong, in the breakaway now, putting pressure on Bradley Wiggins. Bradley Wiggins needs some of his teammates to come back into the fold and start neutralizing this aggressive riding and ride tempo to the finish line. Still 6 dangerous kilometers for Bradley Wiggins before the finish line in the defense of the leader's jersey.
These are extremely tense moments. They're just about 4 miles from the finishing line now. It's about 8 minutes of cycling for these riders. They will not give up here. They're launching attack after attack because they only need seconds in this race to grab the yellow jersey off Wiggins. I do have to say, Bob, that Wiggins is a pretty cool operator, isn't he?
Very cool operator. He saw that his teammates maybe were taking a breath at the back of the field. He realized that on the descent, if he could move forward, get into the front line, it would be, number one, safer. Number two, it would neutralize some of the aggression, and he's done just that. He is riding a perfect Tour of Romandy so far.
Hey, Jesus has gone again here. Jesus Hernandez moving out of the pack once more, lifting the pace yet again. Astana scurrying after them. And for once, Sky Team a little bit slow to react to this one because they're having to watch so many riders.
Astana, second wheel in the peloton there. Yanni Brokvich has made it over that climb. We saw him just a moment ago in the attack. There he is, fourth wheel. His teammate closing this gap down on Jesus Hernandez. All Hernandez needs is a hesitation from 1 or 2 riders and get a little bit of a gap. This is not a situation where he's been in the breakaway throughout the day, so he should have fresh legs. And only 3 miles now to the finish line. Jesus Hernandez will not give up that easily, chasing this dream of winning a stage at Tour of Romandy.
He is hurting so many people here, and in our picture no longer the yellow jersey of Bradley Wiggins in this long Indian file. When is the... there he is, coming into picture now. He's just more or less, I think, hanging on for the finish here and wants to get it over and done with. And remember, if it comes down to a sprint finish, and Zach Cadell Evans just peeping in the picture, it is. So he might have been in trouble, but he's come back in that second wave.
Ivan Basso riding better and better throughout the season. He's doing pretty well here in Romandy, and he's just on the wheel of Cadell Evans.
These are the 4 Rabobank riders. One of them is Luis Leon Sanchez. They're a long way down that line because they've had a tough chase here to get back up to this front group. Look at this, a show of force now by the team from the Netherlands.
Well, there's Bauke Mollema on just in front of Luis Leon Sanchez. When Luis Leon Sanchez comes back into the picture, he's number 86. He has 3 teammates at least with him. There he is. There's Luis Leon Sanchez. Excuse me, he's number 82. Perfect time now for Rabobank. If they can keep things together, do the lead out, they might be the only team left with the firepower to get the stage win. Brilliant riding by Luis Leon Sanchez, already a stage winner yesterday in the Tour of Romandy, and looking for just 1 second to come back over the top of Bradley Wiggins in the standings. He's only 1 second behind to start today's stage.
He's sitting up there straightening his racing jersey too. He's got his team all around him. It's probably the best team for a lead out for the sprint with those strong men. Simply because the rest of the team seem to have lost too many riders, and the vast majority, of course, have also lost their sprinters. There's Yanni Brokvich. He went out to the Tour de France last year with a broken collarbone. New team for him this year on Astana. The field now coming inside, 4 kilometers to go, 2.5 miles to the finish. It's the Kazakh team, Astana, who started to drive at the front. Kevin Sealdryer's down there as well at the front of the race, 3.8 kilometers to go. And just looking down there now, the yellow jersey has dropped back. And in fact, Bradley Wiggins has located Luis Leon Sanchez down here. Now, that would make common sense to me. If Sanchez goes for the sprint, Wiggins has got to go with him.
Oh, Wiggins has definitely tried to match Luis Leon Sanchez in the sprint. Stage 1, Bradley Wiggins, rather amazingly, was able to win that sprint from a rather large group, similar to today's proceedings. He's on the wheel of Cadell Evans, just watching the proceedings in the yellow jersey now, trying to stay out of trouble and following the forward rotation. Great riding by Bradley Wiggins.
Now, the man moving through screen pretty quick there was 21. That's Ivan Basso, former winner of the Tour of Italy. He said he would make his decision this week if he would ride in the next weekend's start of the Tour of Italy. I think the answer is he'll go to the start line because he's been getting better and better every day in this race. The field here now are very tense. They are flying. When you see the elliptical chain wheel here, then you know it's being ridden on the bicycle of Bradley Wiggins. He prefers that to the normal cylindrical one. And Astana are still pushing it.
4 guys left from Astana in a very select group looking for the stage win now. Luis Leon Sanchez has his teammates up there right in the middle of the field to the left-hand side, trying to stay out of trouble. That's a great tactical maneuver. If they need to go out into the wind, they can do that. So Luis Leon Sanchez sitting 4th wheel. Perfect tactics now, 2.5 kilometers, just about 1 mile of racing to go.
And look, we're in the valley now. There's no more hills here. This is a sprinter's finish now if you can survive through the mountains. And Luis Leon Sanchez has shown us he's a good sprinter, but clearly Astana feel they can deliver the sprinter to the line today. That was Seal Dryers, also a sprinter on Astana. He's gone behind. This is Mikel Astalosa, disgraced in the Tour de France a couple of years ago for taking drugs. Did his time, and he's back on the Euskaltel-Euskadi team. And he has made a little bit of a split, but the reaction is again being brought up here by Kevin Seal Dryers from the main peloton. So they are coming back together, but time is running out. Inside 2 kilometers to go. We'll soon be in the final mile.
Well, it'll be very difficult to shake the shackles of the peloton for any of these attackers. 2 teams, Rabobank and Astana. They have a chance to win the stage. They will not let anybody go. Rabobank, they need to come to the front, perhaps get a little bit closer, but they're trying to do that, moving up slowly on the left-hand side of the field with Luis Leon Sanchez looking very dangerously at the moment.
And an AG2R rider trying to force the move on the right of the road. I saw Andrew Chelansky there move up into the top 6 riders. Now, he finished 4th yesterday, just outside those bonus times, so he fancies his chances in the sprint, as we've now got an attack here by Movistar. I'm not sure we're going to get out of the way of this. Yes, we are, just underneath 1 kilometer to go. The team from Spain has got the head of the peloton, and there's no sign of the yellow jersey, and there's no sign of Sanchez either. So this may be going the way of Bradley Wiggins.
BMC moving into the frame. Also, Cadel Evans, 4th wheel there, looking to make some time bonuses, trying to move up through the field. There's a Rabobank rider on his wheel. We look a little bit further down. We haven't seen Bradley Wiggins. He's got to follow Luis Leon Sanchez to the line and try to get some time from the Spaniard on the Rabobank team. The men in orange looking very dangerous on the stage today.
And so are the men too from last year's winning team BMC, because Cadel Evans' team is on the front here now, as it's BMC who's opening up the run here, as they're trying to move their men up. The last chance at time bonuses before the race of truth tomorrow. And it looks to me as though Luis Leon Sanchez has got himself in a picture there. Little bit of a shoulder clash, and he's making a run. This could be the worst possible result for Bradley Wiggins, because he hits the front. Luis Leon Sanchez, oh, this is Samolyov, I think, who is going. And that's Sanchez coming in the bottom of the picture. Far right as they go to the line now. It's Sanchez on the front. Sanchez is clear, and Luis Leon Sanchez labours to the line. It is the worst result for Bradley Wiggins. 2 wins in a row for Luis Leon Sanchez. A 10-second win bonus. He now leads this race by 9 seconds.
Rinaldo Nocentini, 2nd on the stage, did everything he was capable of doing to beat Sanchez in the sprint. He couldn't do it. The Spaniard wins his 2nd in a row in 2 days of racing. He's got 20 seconds back from Bradley Wiggins.
Well, this is how it happened, Bob. A good lead out in the end, and Sanchez well cleared, chased here by Ronaldo Nocentini. Cadel Evans slipping out of our picture there, did try but couldn't match these sprinters. This was an inspired finish and the worst possible result for Wiggins, because Sanchez is the national time trial champion of Spain, and tomorrow he'll pull on that jersey for the last race of the tour.
A little bit surprised that Bradley Wiggins didn't try to get up there and mix it. You can see Bradley about 20 riders back in the yellow jersey. Sanchez, though, absolutely unbeatable in this sprint, accelerating all the way to the line. He's very pleased. He knows that stage win is also going to give him the race leader's jersey with that time bonus of 10 seconds.
Yes, happy days for Rabobank, suddenly reversing their slow start to the year. They had a win in the Tour of Turkey, Mark Renshaw. Now they've had 2 wins here out of Luis Leon Sanchez, who is now the winner of today. These are the same times. Nocentini, Samuel Lau, Verdugo and Tiralongo in that order, all the same time. Everybody in that group. And there, Cadel Evans, they're taking 8th place same time. Wiggins too finishing in the same time, but outside of the top 10. So he's now looking for 9 seconds in the time trial tomorrow. He'll start ahead of Luis Leon Sanchez, and we'll talk to Luis Leon when we come back after the break. He'll be a happy man. The Epic Cycle, presented by Michelob Ultra on NBC Sports Network, is brought to you by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer, perfectly balanced for the ultra life. And by Competitive Cyclist. For 20% off cycling apparel and accessories, visit competitivecyclist.com/classics and use the promo code PRTF20. And by Road ID. It's not just a piece of gear, it's peace of mind. Get yours today at roadid.com. Ride safe. Well, we've just seen Luis Leon Sanchez take his second consecutive victory in this race, Bob, and he is now a very happy man because he's finally got the yellow jersey.
He takes a 10-second time bonus. With that win, he started the day 1 second behind Bradley Wiggins. He moves into the lead by a rather handy 9 seconds. He might be able to preserve that in tomorrow's time trial. Luis Leon Sanchez is a very good time trialist.
All right, well, naturally enough, he's our Michelob Ultra ride of the day.
His teammates brought him back into the front group. They did a perfect lead out, but Luis Leon Sanchez, he finished it off untouchable in the sprint. No Centini gives it a try, but Luis Leon Sanchez superior on the stage today.
And this fourth win of the season as well. That's double the amount of wins he got all year last year. So that's our Michelob Ultra ride of the day. Well, let's hear from him now. He'll take the questions in English and we'll hear the answers with Bob in Spanish.
2 days, 2 victory. It seems that you really love this Tour de Romandie.
Bueno, yo creo que cuando el equipo tiene confianza.
Well, good. When the team has confidence, it gives me confidence as well. Everything went well throughout the stage. Big work was done by the team to carry me through the stage. The team has lots of confidence in my possibilities, and today it went very well.
It was a pretty difficult day with the mountains, but also the wind.
Sí, bueno, el último puerto soplaba aire de cara. No se iba tan incómodo como.
I was not sure it would go favorably for us today, so I was glad to come out of the mountains.
Ha sido un grupo pequeño.
And great work done by my teammates to win the stage, and I'm very happy.
Now you have the yellow jersey, and you will have to defend this yellow jersey tomorrow on a very specific time trial.
Bueno, sabemos que es el último día, así que es verdad que es algo.
Good, we all know that I will have the yellow jersey to start the last day. Wiggins is the big favorite, however.
Vamos a hacerlo de la mejor manera posible. Intentaremos hacerlo lo más rápido que
I have a
pueda,
good chance also. I'll do my very best, and we shall see.
Gracias.
We will indeed, and let's not forget, Bob, Luis Leon Sanchez has been his country's national time trial champion 3 times in the last 4 years, as well as finishing 7th in the World Time Trial Championship in 2010. So he really does have a big chance tomorrow. Now he steps up on the podium. This time he receives the maillot jaune, the yellow jersey.
He gets the yellow jersey. He won the stage. He started the stage's proceedings 1 second behind Bradley Wiggins. Got a 10-second bonus. That puts him 9 seconds into the good and the yellow jersey as race leader of this year's Tour of Romandie.
Well, what this really has done now is developed a terrific climax for the last stage of the race tomorrow. Sanchez now the leader, the first time that Sky has lost the race lead all week. Wiggins is now second at 9 seconds. His teammate Rogers there in third place. Andrew Talansky locked in a deadly battle here with Wilco Kelderman, both 20 seconds back. The man that gets the better time tomorrow will walk away with the white jersey. Cadel Evans is 23rd, the defending champion, looking for half a minute. He rides a good time trial uphill. Remember how he finished life off in the Tour de France last year. Now, Bob, the white jersey on the shoulders of Andrew Talansky, it's not a done deal, is it?
No, he certainly could do a good time trial. That's one of his specialties along with climbing. That puts him in 6th place to start tomorrow's stage. He could move up. He's looking for a podium. Very good time trial. It's great to see Talansky up there leading the white jersey competition.
Could be a big day for Andrew tomorrow. Now, don't forget, the Epic Cycle Series presented by Michelob Ultra continues tomorrow with the conclusion of the Tour de Romandie. Note the time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the NBC Sports Network. It is going to be a great day out. And don't forget too, a full schedule of all our cycling coverage can be found at NBCsports.com. Tomorrow, Luis Leon Sanchez will start in the last position. He will chase Bradley Wiggins. The time 11 p.m. Join us for the showdown. For Bob Roll, Phil Liggett, goodbye.